Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now I've done a little bit more fiddling with my computer. It turns out, best I can tell, the mouse being on the screen was a factor of having the volume control panel of Windows open while in borderless Windows mode. I have no idea why that's the case, but I can move the mouse around here and it's not a spinning dot at the spinning circle at the very least, which means I can put it in the corner at least and hide it away, and it very possibly is going to disappear completely from the game, maybe because it's in the corner, maybe not. So that fixes one problem. Now the other thing I did, and this is very interesting, is my TV feels like it's wearing itself out. It's going black in a few places, losing HDMI connectivity. I don't think it's really the cord. I don't think it's really the video card. I think it might just be my TV's a little old and a little worn out. So I've disabled some of the technology that has HDMI talk backwards and forwards between the video card and the monitor. Shouldn't have really changed anything doing that. But I've also put the TV in game mode. I'm thinking maybe if the TV is in game mode, it'll handle refresh rates and vertical sync better, even though this game is in windowed borderless mode and really shouldn't be having a problem with that at all anyways. So the reason why I went down this avenue is as the TV was turned off and I was turning it back on, and it was turning off and turning back on and having trouble getting it to work in the middle of a cutscene last recording, the recording was most definitely hitching up as the TV was turning off, as the TV was turning back on. So perhaps, just perhaps, the solution to the hitching in LEGO video games might be just using a computer monitor, not using a TV. That will be interesting. Or maybe I fixed it by simply putting it in game mode. That's enough setup, and it's enough tinkering. We're going through a lot of that. And it certainly doesn't fix the fact that the game crashed and made me play the last level twice. Let's continue the story. It feels like we're really, really close. Maybe 3 levels till the end of the game story. Till the end of the story. So I don't know how you've changed things. How you have the 11 more levels that I suspect I'm supposed to have. Maybe there's just 11 bonus levels. So it's going to have me playing in the open world Millennium Falcon first.
Going to need all the power it can get for this trip, kid. You and Chewie can sort that, right?
No problem.
So we're going for 45 minutes or around that time. An entire recording with no hitching whatsoever. If we can hit that, that would be amazing. Alright, meanwhile, however, I will point out that putting my monitor in game mode has drastically reduced the visual brightness and the custom calibration that I have on my monitor usually. And let's not forget, I play dozens and dozens of other games that have never had any kind of hitching whatsoever with the setup as it was. This feels like you could climb up and climb down, but nope, there was a hitch. I think I want to get 2000 and get instant brake on contact. That way we can hopefully find that useful. There we go. So now, destroy on contact, enable, and there was another hitch. So now when I just walk by things, things will break. No longer do I have to mash the button, I can just run to them. It's pretty useful, I would say. Looking at the map, there's all sorts of things, but I still think you probably need to be in free play mode to collect them all. Unless Chewbacca doesn't get frozen, and he does. Alright. Let's move the story forward.
Just rerouted from some non-essential systems.
So we're gonna reroute from the weapon system to the hyperdrive system? Is that what we're doing?
Gotta work faster. It's leaking out before we can get it to the hyperdrive.
So is this really a timed thing, or?
Power levels look good from here. Go put the coordinates in the Navicomputer. Hey, maybe choose somewhere sunny.
Interesting. I still want to press the button quite a bit and not just walk into things. There's another hitch. So hitching is not fixed. Not really surprised. Let's break this as a Wookiee, just to make sure there's not an achievement there. Okay. So Dakota was where I think we were last. I guess not. Each of these areas really only has one or two things on it. And it wants me to go to the Star Killer base for Chapter 8. This almost feels like they made two versions of the same level. We'll have to really, once we get to free play mode, we'll have to see what this is all about. This escape from Star Killer base versus Star Killer sabotage. But for the moment, let's just hop into the actual story play. The hitching still isn't bad enough that I would want to rage quit when I'm just finished with the story. I think we're going to go all the way to 100%. However, even with my efforts, I think I'm going to try a couple of the Lego games that I have and see if I can play them, or see if the hitching is still pretty bad on those. Because I wouldn't be surprised if some of the older Lego games has even a worst case scenario. Some of the older ones won't have borderless window mode, and without borderless window mode, I don't think you've reduced the hitching enough to play the game. Maybe you need to play this game connected to like a gaming monitor and not a TV. I've never really had that be an issue. Frankly, that seems not realistic. I kind of get the feeling that there's a chance if I had like a 240 Hz gaming monitor, it would actually make the hitching worse.
We're making our landing approach at light speed.
Alright, Chewie, get ready.
None of these gags are really laugh out loud funny. Where when I played Lego Star Wars The Complete Collection, the first 2 games combined, there were definitely some laugh out loud funny cutscenes and gags that happened. To be fair, when I played it a second time, I really didn't laugh out loud at those gags, but I may have snickered or chuckled at them. Here, I'm not even doing that much.
Oh, really? You're cold? The flooding tunnel's over that ridge. We'll get in that way.
So we're on a snow planet.
Take more than a lick of paint to fix.
Sentry droids.
Well, you got a blaster, haven't you?
Okay. Let's see. What's this?
Finn, think you can cut through there?
So it wants me to blast those too. And I guess it wants me to wait. There's less reason to really believe that you would really not get true Jedi in this.
Fix her later, Chewie.
It doesn't really feel like Han Solo cares too much about the Millennium Falcon, and that feels like the wrong characterization to write for him. He let it get stolen.
Know what to build?
And these aren't even a multi. It's not even a multi-build item. Can't jump in here. I guess lasers exist in the Star Wars universe. They're kind of underusing the thermal detonator explosives. In the first game, only Jango Fett or Boba Fett could use thermal detonators. Now that Chewbacca can, and he was within the first 10 characters you could play as, it seems like they unlocked that ability kind of early. Right. Apparently that's Han Solo and Finn. Have we seen a hitch in the level yet? I don't think we have. So maybe we reduce the hitching slightly. Maybe we just have yet to get to a visually challenging section. That's another confusing quick timer action because I was supposed to press B after pressing B, and every time we've seen that before, it's been pressing B with the BB-8 and then bouncing an arrow in the center.
Hope your blaster's charged.
That's.
You don't have to wait for them to shoot first.
There's a Han Solo shot first joke, which I would imagine George Lucas would not have allowed in the game. You really get the feeling that let's see what happens.
What sort of a dimwit touches a laser? Where are you going?
Yeah, it's probably not true, but it definitely does feel like George Lucas in his little edits that he made to the original movies, he very specifically wanted to make Han Solo less of a roguish person and not have him shoot first, and wanted to make the movies more kid-friendly because he was older and he had kids when he remade the movies. And it's not unheard of for painters and sculptors to start over from scratch and make little changes to their masterpieces. I'm sure authors do it all the time. This doesn't feel like that was something I needed to do. Okay. Interesting magnet. Magnets have never really been a thing in LEGO games. It's kind of surprising that they haven't. There's a chance here you could do little LEGO puzzles that are the equivalents of teaching about magnetism, electronics, weights, balance, colors. There could have some teachable moments in it. All the LEGO games could have had some of that, and I'm sure in a few places you could argue it does, but most places it doesn't. There's been a couple of color puzzles where you mix primary colors together and make a new color in some of the LEGO games, but not a lot of that. Feels like there might be an achievement if I had stayed on the other side of this fence. Now I don't have any small characters to crawl through this, so I'll have to either find a small character or this is a snow level, so it's their opportunity to make some Christmas stuff. It's always Christmas in LEGO world, or always winter holidays. There's a considerable that seems cruel. There's a considerable number of real LEGO sets that are Christmas themed. Okay, so do we want to build this first? Okay. Seems odd that these puzzles are becoming timed. That seems way too difficult for a kid's game. I really feel like all the other LEGO games have been very much not time-based, and any kid of almost any age could eventually figure things out. Okay, this is Finn. Feels like there was a little bit of a hitch there, but not too bad. So Finn's gonna do the puzzle. Here's a simple question. Why does Finn need to go down to a planet? Why doesn't he just give all the codes he knows to the Resistance? Is it because Finn wants to prove himself as a hero? I mean, is that really a good and important thing to do? What's this? Seems like there might be some kind of something there, but I'll probably have to do it in free play mode. Let's just all walk in here. I'm uncertain how much of this level is left. Okay, so they're bringing back Phasma, and they're going to give us another one of these first over-the-shoulder, third-person perspective shooter sections. And I can't shoot these guys. So this is a crawling, sneaking section.
Good. That means they aren't looking here.
The slingshot. Out of scale Legos. Like really, really out of scale Lego build. And that avalanche them. Let's just roll. Let's switch over to Chewie. There was another hitch. Not too bad though. I'm not sure I really believe that turning my monitor to game mode has changed anything.
No problem.
And he still has this mask that he's only used once before in the game. That's a prime example of just there being way too much in the main story. Way too many different interactions. Apparently that ground is... Let's see. Put this here. And I have to hit B and then spin. Or I shouldn't have hit B to back out of that.
Thank you.
And climbing up a pipe. We've never seen that before. That's something very interesting to introduce to Legos. Unfortunately, it's in the middle of a game that already has way too much. Lego games basically need to forget half of the gameplay mechanics that have been introduced because there's just too many. You have a... They need to be selections of a few different mini actions, not all of them. And they recently made Lego Worlds as trying to be this open world kind of MMO game, although then they kind of put a single player experience on top of it and then charged, in my opinion, way too much money and sold a very different game from what they were selling in the beta. Am I supposed to be blowing this up? I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I guess just walking over this red section, which I thought was a heated platform, and then swinging over here. So, in Lego World, I could see the argument being made that every single interaction that's ever been thought of should have been available. But, frankly, I don't think it actually was. just needlessly making things complicated, pushing up the age rating I would say this game is targeting. And of course, Lego Dimensions certainly had a bunch of actions extra on top of them, the normal actions.
It's completely safe.
And now,
I won't get to complain for long.
now Lego Dimensions, which never came to PC.
Oh, I lost my rations, so I'm scrambling some eggs. At least I think they're eggs. You can't do that. Sure I can. See, I have a frying pan. Just put that fire out.
Where are those people who are talking? Like, honestly, where were those people? Many times I've heard dialogue happen, and it feels like you'd be able to shoot this guy too, but I guess not.
Give me a hand here, kid.
Yes, Lego Dimensions is dead. They're not gonna make any more things for them. Meanwhile, Toys R Us is also going out of business at this time, so if you wanted to pick up all the Lego Dimension things and the Disney Infinity things for the cheap, it would be a good time to do it. There they are. So why not have that line of dialogue happen after we blasted the wall or through a glass window?
Those chains up there connected to it?
Let's just make sure we're doing as much as we can. I probably need 2 million studs by the time I find the score times 4 multiplier. Nice Lego fire pit. And up here is a blue stud. So we definitely want to collect that. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we are approaching the end of Lego games. There's not too much you can license that's super recognizable. Some Fantastic Beasts games, unless TT Games is going to try and remaster some of their older games and re-release them with remakes of the same level. And I don't know if that would really sell. Yeah, I don't know of any major things.
So what's this an overflow vent for? Never mind, just guessed. There better not be a Dianoga down there.
Yeah, there definitely will be Star Wars movies for the rest of all time, but you can't just make Lego Star Wars games. You've got to make some other series, whether it's Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones. There is going to be an Indiana Jones movie in 2019. It probably won't succeed too well, but I bet they make a license on that. There's plenty of room to do more Marvel and
I don't. I'm just here to get Ray. People are counting on us. The galaxy is counting on us. Solo, we'll figure it out. We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works.
I don't like that he's wearing gloves as a character. His hand looks weird.
The shields. I have an idea about that.
So Finn admits he doesn't know what he's doing. There's some major hitching there. The destroy on contact ability kind of only makes hitching worse.
The problem with these uniforms is that it makes it really difficult to tell who's who. because you can't see our faces. I tried getting around it by wearing a hat on top of my helmet, but that bootlicker 2074, yeah, reported me to Captain Phasma. Hey, I'm 2074! Oh. Well, you've got to admit, that does illustrate my point pretty neatly.
That's pretty funny. The Clone Wars cartoon tried to get around that by having a bunch of clone troopers that had different color bits of paint on their helmets. It doesn't work great, however.
The wall up there is really thin. I can go through into the barracks.
Yeah. When I was playing Star Wars, the Clone Wars, what is it? The rest of the name? Star Wars, Clone Wars, Republic Heroes. There was a definite point where you were playing as one of potentially 12 clone troopers, and I could not keep any of them straight, and I could not give any of them any kind of recognizable personality. Let's see. Break this, and then we pull this. And then we hit A, then we let go, and then up and up. A little bit of the classic music. There's going to be a problem with the music eventually in Star Wars movies. Hey, here's that circle cut that we did every single time in the original game, instead of the straight line downward. And this is a gag we've already seen once before. So they're doing the exact same gags, and it's still pretty funny. We build this, and what is this, a helmet, to give me a stormtrooper hat, which I assume I need, but what else can I build? A dive in the water, there's another hitch. Seems like you could kind of just leave your character here and grind forever. Right. Yeah, it's only those two things. I'm not really sure I even need a stormtrooper hat. And it probably says something that I got through all that. There was definitely a Lego game that was very heavy in the hat mechanic. That was like 50% of what you did. Kind of in the same way that Lego Dimensions is very heavily built around the ability to move actual action figures on the portal of power. Which I think that kind of hurt. I guess thinking about Lego Dimensions, there were several games that were just level add-on packs and not full games. There was a Sonic level add-on pack, there was a Doctor Who level add-on pack, there was a Portal level add-on pack. There was the 2016 Ghostbusters. I think that was a full-on Season 2 story add-on expansion. So if those small experiments got expanded into their own game, you do have probably half a dozen other games you could, over the years, make. A Doctor Who full-on Lego game makes sense. A Sonic Lego game sort of makes sense, although Sonic would be moving pretty slow. There was a Wizard of Oz game. If you go into the classic stories and made a Wizard of Oz game, a Lego game, a Wizard of Alice in Wonderland, Aladdin. I guess now that Disney is kind of involved, I guess maybe TT Games could get those licenses. We could see a Bambi Lego game. I doubt it though. But some of their classic ones, Cinderella. You could have a Lego game that is directly just built around the concept of going through Disneyland or Disney World. Let's see. I guess I didn't hit A there, did I? They don't really call them bucket heads. This level's been going long. I think a big portion of that is I've been meandering, wondering about where this game is going to go and where pretty much the entire Lego series of games is going to end up going. Okay, I'm not to the point where I can scan, apparently. You just move backwards and forwards. Okay, this is a Chewbacca thing. I didn't see that that was silver. Still not enjoying this. And let's be honest, this is not something you can add to other Lego games. We're not going to do a Call of Duty Lego games for kids. You're not going to... you're not going to have first-person shooter experiences. See, when I'm done with all this, I think I'm going to have to run back around and try destroy a bunch of the robot droids. I don't get this. I can pull that, and then I need to switch him with Finn, who apparently is just hiding in the background. There you go. Honestly, just feels like they've gotten lazy putting in these sections. But I know somebody's probably rather happy about how this turned out. There's two. And I can just... There's three. I'm looking for... There's four. And then you got another one of those laser guys. Or two. So they're not super unique.
You want to do the honors, Chewie?
And Phasma as best as I understand it, was introduced to be the new Boba Fett of the series, and so she doesn't really even play a major role or get enough screen time for this first movie.
FN2187. I should have known you would have turned out to be a traitorous dread.
You didn't mention she was such a good friend of yours, Finn.
Destroy her!
It's probably easier just to throw a thermal detonator at all these guys. So is this really a boss fight, or? So why do you need Captain Phasma and the general that was competing with Kylo Ren? Why not do both? Why not combine that into one character?
You're going to be too late. You can't stop the Star Killer from firing.
Yeah, if you had Captain Phasma as this kind of duplicitous, sort of treacherous competition for Kylo Ren, that would have given her more characterization. And of course this movie is supposed to be a female empowerment thing, although putting a female in a stormtrooper outfit kind of doesn't change too much. Like, they barely look human in the first place. What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be shooting these? I kind of get a feeling like this would have been the first battle or third person experience that was programmed. And if there was just maybe a 3 or 4 boss fights like this, that kind of would make sense. It's hard to believe that there was this many shootouts in the actual movie. And I seriously doubt that there was a rocket launching vehicle like this. And then we get the QuickTime events that you don't really need. That could have just been a cutscene. And Chewie doesn't rip her arms off.
Charge now, Phasma. Do it.
You can't be so stupid as to think this will be easy.
I disagree. You want me to blast that bucket off your head? Lower the shields. What do we do with her? Is there a garbage chute? Trash compactor? Yeah, there is.
Unhand! How dare you!
Doesn't the Resistance take prisoners? She's like a highly ranked officer in Resistance. Wouldn't you want to interrogate her, get some inside knowledge, maybe trade some of your prisoners for her? Is there no, like, prisoner of war laws that the Resistance follows? I mean, the very basics of the Geneva Convention, or at least parts of it, is the idea that you treat prisoners of war good on your side. That way, whoever you're fighting will hopefully treat prisoners of war well on their side. How much that's really followed, I don't know. See, it seems like we're unlocking the ability to purchase quite a bit of characters, but this would certainly be the wrong time to do that. Well, when I get to the point where I'm kind of meandering and talking, that tells me that I'm probably too tired to go on any further. Some might argue that my early episodes when I first started my YouTube, where I meandered and talked almost incessantly about random things, were the best. It's not really my style over the years that I've developed. I try to be more serious and more critical. So this is going to be the end of this recording session. I'm going to take a break. Hopefully I'll remember what's going on in this story. I suppose the idea here, and it did occur to me, is at some point LEGO might make a LEGO Star Wars Episode 8 game and might make a LEGO Star Wars Episode 9 game. And then it might come back at some point and combine Episodes 7, 8, and 9 together and make that just one rather larger experience with a lot of editing here and there, getting rid of parts that aren't really necessary. Then it would be more in line with the LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga, where the first game, before it was the Complete Saga, LEGO Star Wars 1, the first one they ever made, was Episode 4, 5, and 6. So 3 movies, 6 hours of content in one game that was about 60 to maybe 150 hours of gameplay. So maybe they're stretching things out and adding content that probably could have been left on the cutting room floor. However, I don't know when they'd really be able to do that anyways. Like, maybe by the time they got around to making LEGO Star Wars Episode 9, it would be 6 years since this game had come out, probably. And combining all of those together and reselling it seems not like the smartest move until you've waited maybe another 4 years. And if they were going to make remakes, why not remake some of their older games? And like I've said before, I'd really love to see these running on the Unreal Engine, and TT Games just get away from programming their own engine, because it doesn't, their graphics part of their engine does not work well. Seems like hitching went down a little bit, but maybe I'm just getting used to it. 27 of 86 vehicles unlocked, which seems odd that number hasn't gone up. 6 of 18 red bricks collected, which means I missed quite a few. Only 24 of 258 gold bricks collected, which tells me there's a ton more to do there. And 87 out of 277 characters. I'm pretty sure I was at 87 before, so I don't think I'll be automatically unlocking any more characters. I think I'm just unlocking the ability to unlock more characters. There's definitely a lot more to do. Ton of more work to do. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. When you subscribe, please click that notification bell. If you want to support me even further, gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.